think I got Paul settled over here now. We got probably camera, microphone. I guess been too long since we've been in here.
No, I
Or is
don't.
that?
I don't know what I'm doing. That's what it is. I'm not very good at this.
Well, we're back to do another show. Cash and Tickets is here with you. I'm Franklin. That's Paul. Check us on Twitter at Poolside Bets. I think Paul put something out yesterday about his golf picks. If you want to go back and look to see who he liked in the Arnold Palmer, you can take a look there.
Yeah, Tyler Hatton has played really good there the last couple years. He won like 3 years ago or 2 years ago, and the weather's going to get bad. So Friday and Saturday, the wind's going to get up. So I was looking for somebody steady. And so I took Hatton and I threw a little nugget at Matsuyama because he usually shows up at the least impromptu time, and he's a solid mental golfer. So
Yeah.
some of these guys are going to blow up tomorrow and Saturday. I got a feeling like you remember the 18th John Daly hat on the 6th, the Roy McAvoy, six
Yeah.
balls in the water.
Just keep hitting it. It'll get over.
Yeah,
It'll get over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're glad to be back with you here on a Thursday, March the 2nd. Boy, we're getting closer and closer to one of our favorite times and probably everybody's. Simply because there's a bracket. Gets to March Madness. You get to fill out all those brackets. Going to give you some news on that. So anyway, here we are. Franklin and Paul Poolside Bets bringing you cash and tickets here on March the 2nd. Yeah, but you can still go out there and get golfers every day. You can go out and get live bets on golfers after the round. So if you go tomorrow and you take a look and you got some guys that are a few strokes back and you like their odds, you can go out there and get them every day, even going up to Saturday, Sunday.
Well, Chris Kirk's coming off a win last week. He's tied for the lead right now, and you can get him at 20-1. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good number.
It's
with
not
the
bad to
lead.
take the lead. Yeah,
At 5
take
under,
the leader.
And
Yeah.
if the weather's saying what it's going to be, the next 2 days are going to be tough. But
Yeah, so if you go out and score today, you're in good position.
you got Scotty Scheffler, the favorite. He's one shot back at 650 in the clubhouse.
So he's the favorite right now, obviously.
Yeah,
I mean,
Cantlay is still on the course at 4 under. He's got a shot to get the lead. My two guys are whoa. Tyler Hatton, 1 over.
Oh, it has got to 1 over
Went
now.
out there and
Yeah,
got him
good
a
job.
At 80-1. Matsuyama's 200-1 right now. What a man!
Oh my!
I might go
goodness.
double dip on him. They're gonna make a comeback.
You think so?
Oh yeah, it'll be
Oh,
fine.
well. All right. So I mentioned March Madness. So Paul and I are tossing around some ideas. First thing, we're gonna put together one bracket for poolside bets. And so I don't know which medium we're going to use, whether it be ESPN or Yahoo Sports or whichever one. But sorry, that was my phone. It had a vibrating moment there. So we're going to put out one bracket, and we're going to do a group. I guess I won't make it just private. Well, I guess we'll make it public. So anybody that watches the show, you want to go out there and look, probably ESPN. We'll go out there and put a bracket. We'll make a group, Poolside Bets group. Come out there and challenge us. Like I said, we're not going to have a whole bunch of brackets. We're just going to put one bracket in, and of course, you can do whatever you want to do. We're not going to make any rules there, but you put 5 or 6 brackets. Come on, just do the one, right?
Yeah.
It's just put the one. Anyway, so we hope everybody will come out there and challenge us. As maybe if you're local or something, you win. Maybe we'll have you on, talk about how you built your bracket, or tell us about your betting strategies or something. Maybe we got some. Outside of our little huggies there, Paul, if you want to show them, maybe we can give somebody some swag, whoever wins or something like that. But,
Yeah, we're supposed to be working on that, aren't we?
yeah, I'd get working on maybe some hats or something. I don't know.
If I just had time.
Goodness gracious, if you had time. That's cute. I like it. Yeah. So,
That'll be here all
anyway.
day.
And so also we're going to maybe looking at the ideas of actually how we're going to put our bracket out there. So the week of March Madness, we're going to shoot a show, and we may have somebody write our picks down, just go through the whole bracket and watch Paul and I argue over every single team that we want to move forward. So I don't know how if we're going to have somebody write it down I've got a big chalkboard, maybe do something like that, or I could build us a PowerPoint, Paul, but that wouldn't be any fun because we'd already have our picks in there. So anyway, so you get to watch Poolside Bets build their bracket and the one that you'll be challenging, the one you want to go out there and beat. And
Well,
then we'll decide what happens after that.
it's not a far fetch for me to argue with you, even though we know what the final answer is going to be.
Yeah, whatever my answer is, absolutely. So, if we get into this bracket like we've got into any other subject with that show may go 5 or 6 hours. It could be a debacle from the get go.
Yeah.
So we're here today really to discuss a big horse race. It's not one of the big points races, but they're doing a lot of Kentucky Derby points races that we talked about it before. We did a show on the Rebel that was held at where was that? The fairgrounds? Yeah, held at the fairgrounds.
Yep.
Last week was
the Rebel.
no, that was the
the
Risen
Oaklawn,
Star.
The Risen Star was at Fairground.
That's right. Last week was the Rebel at Oaklawn, and I think I tweeted out kind of what I thought. We didn't get the show produced and put out, and we apologize for that. But I don't think neither one of us would have won as we did not pick the winner in that race. But if we go back to the Risen Star, boy, I think we both talked about it. We knew there was no way our horse was going to win because we both landed on Angel of Empire. Kind of like just how the horse was working. And then, of course, the combination of Louis Saez and Brad Cox, that combination was hard to beat. And sure enough, that race broke just the way we liked it. The horses we thought would go out front, they went out front. Angel of Empire set about 6th or 7th for most of the way. And then when Saez asked him, he hit. He went about 5 wide and just ran everybody down and went and got the win at 13-1. So a big win for poolside bets there, cash and tickets as we always mention. So we did good there on in the Risen Star, actually calling the winner there. Then we got the Rebel last week and
what
at a
day.
muddy Oaklawn. I mean, I did not think it was going to be that muddy. And I tweeted out that I was hoping that Red Route 1 could get a big push from the back. He was going to close hard. I didn't know that if he would win. I just liked him to be in the money. And but I did just go ahead and go. I said I did a win play show bet on Red Route 1 just in case he got the right trip and can run them all down. Then I saw it was incredibly muddy, so I didn't know how well that was going to be for a closer. I thought that Giant Mischief was going to have the big ride there. Another Brad Cox horse with Irad Ortiz in the saddle, and I thought that he would have a chance. And he showed nothing. He wasn't even in the money.
6th.
Reincarnate finished 3rd, I think. There's a big horse there, and then but my Red Route 1 did exactly what I thought he would. You couldn't even see him on the second turn. All the horses come around the turn. Where's the 3? Couldn't find him.
Yeah, I was on the 11. I thought maybe he'd get out front and just kind of hold, but he just lost everything.
Yeah, he set second for most of the race, and then he could not sustain any momentum coming down the stretch. And Red Route 1 gave Confidence Game all it wanted in the end there. And man, here's my notes on Confidence Game. He earned a 97 speed figure in November, but fell to 87 in the LeCompte Stakes, which I think was in January or February. So it's not the type of trend you want to see for horses, turning in their 3-year-old campaign, getting slower. And then the jockey trainer combo
Must be a mutter.
Yeah, James Graham and Keith DeSormo, they don't compete much at Oaklawn. So I just did not see it, but boy, Confidence Game went out there and got it done there in the Rebel at Oaklawn. So that brings us to this week. There are actually 4 graded stakes races that are going to hand out Derby points. You got the John Battaglia Memorial at Turfway Park, the Gotham up in Aqueduct, and the San Felipe Stakes out on the West Coast at Santa Anita. But we are focusing on the Fountain of Youth. It's going to be held at Gulfstream Park. And just because there's a horse there that already has points, that's probably going to be in the Derby for sure, and we want to see him race, and so we decided to look at this race. One quick note about the Gotham that I saw that I found interesting was only one horse who's ever won the Gotham has went on to win the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, it's not
in the history of that race, and that is the legendary Secretariat. So that's, if you want, don't glean anything from that race, I guess is what I'm saying. So Fountain of Youth, Paul.
The one thing I wanted to bring up, they have early odds on who's going to win the Kentucky Derby. Of course, they got tons of horses in it, but the odds-on favorite is the horse that we're looking for to run this weekend. Is Forte. It's coming off a layoff. I think the last time the race was November.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna play this horse for kind of the reasons we talked about earlier, and I'm probably completely wrong, but I don't think he has to do nothing. I think they just want to see him run. I don't. I think I'm the same way with Blazing Sevens. I think they're going to get him out there. They're going to get him a good run, and then shoot for the Keeneland race or what is it called?
Or the either the Florida Derby back at Gulfstream Park
Yeah,
or the Arkansas Derby.
What's the one before that at Keeneland we were talking about? Hell, I can't remember now.
Didn't we just discuss this yesterday?
We were terrible. But then it'll come to me as soon as we get off the air. But anyways, yeah, no. So I'm gonna not play Forte here, not even though he is the best horse in this race. I just don't think this is the time for him to go out there and win it. Blazing Sevens, I'm gonna leave off my ticket also, even at 7-2. He's got a good number. That number's gonna come down because people are gonna hammer that horse too.
Yeah.
Both coming off little layoffs. Not this race, but the next race that these two show up in, I think that's when you go get them.
Forte and Blazing Sevens.
Yeah, that's just I'm not going to play the one. Well, there's no reason to bet Forte. I mean, anybody that knows anything about horse racing, you can't make money betting the favorite.
Well, he's 7-5 morning line going into this race.
It's going to be under even money by the time the gates open.
Yeah.
I mean, the general public's just going to go throw $100 at them and try to get 85 back.
Yeah, like Paul's mentioning the race he couldn't get, but the points get bigger as we go along. You got 100 points that are going to be given away in this one, but they get to 200 points in the Jeff Ruby Stakes on March 25th, and then of course the ones I mentioned: the Florida Derby at Gulfstream Park, the Arkansas Derby at Oaklawn, the Wood Memorial Aqueduct, and the Bluegrass.
The Bluegrass
at Keeneland. And then the Santa Anita Derby is another 200 points race. And the Wood Memorial Bluegrass and Santa Anita Derby all on the same day, April 8th. What a day.
Going to be a fun one. If
and
you
then
like horse racing.
The Florida Derby and the Arkansas Derby are also on the same day, April 1st. And that's not a joke. It's actually April Fool's Day, April 1. They will be racing. So, yeah, this is these are prep races, like I said, to get points and then to move into the bigger races. I'm with Paul here. I don't know that they're sending Forte out here to necessarily win this race, but to just get a race under his belt for this year, for 2023.
And trust me, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go out there and just lap the field. But
if he's just the absolute best horse.
If you're not on him, you're not hurt. I mean, you're out of. Nobody wants to. You can't bet a less than even money horse to win a race. You're just asking for a disaster.
And Blazing Sevens. So let's pull up the. I've got it here. Let's just get into it. Let's get into the field here. There's your field for the Fountain of Youth at Gulfstream Park. As you mentioned, we talked about the 4 and the 6. That's Forte and Blazing Sevens, and you can see the jockey trainer combos there, and the morning line odds for each horse. So 7-5, 7-5, and 7-2 are not the type of odds you want to jump on here, especially for horses that are making their 2023 debut, and don't necessarily need the points. So who else are we looking at here, Paul? What do we like?
If we're going, I'm going to have a show bet only on the 3 Shadow Dragon. Ran strong against Rocket Can at the Holy Bull. Came up short though, but I think if he gets a little bit better trip, and that was his first race off of layoff, this will be his second race, so it's going to be a little better performance.
Yeah.
So 12-1 morning line, give me all that show money.
I like it.
You want to go with one, or you want me to?
I go ahead. If you got another horse there you want to talk about.
The only one, the General Jim 61 Suge McGahee horse, with Louis says. I got him as part of a trifecta box, along with Rocket Can. I got the 8, 6, and 3. I got Rocket Can going out there and winning this thing. I got him at a win place in show with the Shadow Dragon at 12-1 with the show. I don't have Rocket Can's odds, but I think it's 6-1 or 8-1. What is it? What's Rocket
The
Can?
Rocket Can 8-1
Yeah.
is what it opens. Probably won't get 8-1, but
No.
you'll probably still get pretty good odds.
So that if I can hit that trifecta, that'll give me a 8-1 over a 6-1 over a 12-1.
I like it. I just wanted to mention Cyclone Mischief here, the 9 with Tyler Gaffley on the board. He's 12-1. He's a press the pace horse, probably going to be close to the top. The only reason I want to bring him up is because he hit a top speed of 1:0, and this is Equibase. We're not talking about Beyer speeds. This is the EQ speeds of 1:01. This is what I got anyway. Paul, you may have different. You may have the Beyer speeds, but I've got Equibase speeds. He ran a 1:01. And went off as the. No, that was not in the Holy Bull. He went off as a 6-5 favorite and finished 7th of 8, and he only got a 71 speed figure. But his top figure, if you look, is a 1:01. Here's the difference: he ran that 1:01 while he was on Lasix. Lasix is an anti-bleeding medication that a lot of horses run on. I don't know exactly what it does. I got to do more research. I'm not sure exactly what it does for horses, but apparently it's not illegal. A lot of them do it. But in the Holy Bull, where he finished 7 of 8, he was off of Lasix because Lasix is not allowed in the Kentucky Derby, which means you can't run on it in Derby prep races because you won't get points. You could run on it, but you won't get points. If you finish in the top 5, they will not award you points. So just be aware of that horse. If you look and say, oh, look at this speed, just know he ran that on Lasix, and without Lasix, he dropped 30 points in his EQ speed. So that's something to look at there. I don't know if he's my top horse, but one I really liked. You already brought him up. That's General Jim. That's the one. Looking back at Luis Saez again, he's always been pretty good to me. This is an into mischief horse, but he's got curling in the bloodline.
Yeah.
So I like everything about this horse. He's won twice on turf. I get that, but going to the dirt, he's got some dirt races under him. And Saez has 2 wins in the Fountain of Youth. And like I mentioned, he also rode Angel of Empire to a win in the Risen Star this year. And this horse has an EQ speed of 99, his best speed. The difference in this race that I noticed, Paul, is a lot more stalkers and closers in this race than the previous ones. You know, the other two, the Risen Star and the Rebel, had a lot more pace setters and pressing the pace.
I looked briefly at what DRF does on their pace projections and all that. I didn't necessarily go into what they're looking at the end, but they got like the 7, the 2, and the 4 going out front first. So I don't know if that helps or hurts, but I don't think there's a lot. I think it's going to be a who can grit it out on the backstretch and whose ears stay laid down the longest.
You'll probably get the 7 out there. That I don't know if that's Mage. I guess that's how they say it.
Yeah.
Got him as a pace setter. It makes sense. And the 2, Legacy Isle. He finished a distant 4th in the Holy Bull. So the 2 horses I came down to are General Jim and Rocket Can. And Rocket Can won the Holy Bull. I like Junior Alvarado. He's got a 97 speed figure, and he's another stalker.
Yeah, William Mott, yeah.
I like General Jim and Rocket Can to sit behind the pace here, probably 4th, 5th, and 6th, and make a big close because I don't know how hard Pletcher wants to push Forte. I mean, he's got the best speed. He's probably the best horse in the race.
Yeah, and remember now, even if Forte goes out there and clashes the field, you didn't. I mean, look for your place in shows because you wouldn't have won anything anyway.
Right. Yeah, you would have had to bet a lot to get. You would
have had to single him in any exotic bets. You had been. I mean, it would have been. Yeah. It's just. I mean, do what you want to, but trust me because I've done it. And
I don't know that I would leave him out of a try in Super just because of his pedigree. I don't know if he's gonna, falter and not. I don't think Irad's just gonna pull him up and stop him because then what's the point of even being in the race?
Yeah.
And he's just a better horse than most of these other horses.
No,
so,
he's the best horse in this race.
I mean, but we're just looking for a horse to beat him to get some odds.
We're trying to make some money, boys.
Yeah,
that's
right,
all, ladies. That's all we're trying to do.
So I if I did some kind of super or a trifecta, I'm probably taking the 1, the 4, the 8, absolutely the 8, and maybe Shadow Dragon. I don't hate what you mentioned there. He finished second to Rocket Can in the Holy Bull, I believe.
And like I said, I like him on his second trip out after a layoff. So his first trip after the layoff was, and if you watch that race, the Holy Bull, Rocket Can had a terrible ride and still won it.
Yeah, and still won it. Yeah.
He had to come from the inside to the outside and passed everybody on the outside. So I like Rocket Can to win, play show, and then I think Shadow Dragon still run with him. I think he's the second time out. I think he's gonna be better than he was the last time.
And it's not just because of the odds, but I'm tossing out Dangerous Ride. I just don't think he has the speed. I'm tossing out Cyclone Mischief, like I said, because he's not going to be on Lasix, and we already seen that performance once. I guess I haven't. Mage has got some 2-turn stamina in his pedigree, but and he's going to sit at the top, but he's probably just going to get overrun by some of these horses. So I'm kind of throwing the 7 out.
Kind of like the 11 last week.
Yeah.
I mean, you were happy with everything but the end of it.
Yeah.
And then he finishes 8th.
That Il Miracolo, Il Miracolo, maybe it's got Edgar Perez in the saddle. I don't know if I've ever heard of Antonio Seno, the trainer there. I guess we haven't been doing it long enough. I will tell you this though. I know Blazing Sevens is we're kind of tossing him out. I'd probably have him in a super too because he's a really good horse.
Yeah, I get
I will tell you this: if this was a turf race, there's no way you get me off of the 6 if this is a turf race with Joel Rosario on a Chad Brown horse. I mean, you just take it. I mean, you don't even think. But this is the first time Joel's going to be aboard Blazing Sevens. He's never ridden this horse.
Yeah, I just don't. Unprofessional opinion. There's no need for them to go out there and just make a dominant showing here.
I did read one thing interesting about Blazing Sevens. It says the stamina for him to hold the mile and the 8th, the pedigree fits more for turf and not for dirt. So maybe all these horses stretching out. Some of them I don't think they're going to be fit for this distance. But yeah, so give me General Jim and Rocket Can to hopefully stalk and come down the stretch and do something. I'm probably going to come down to one of them, and it may just depend on the odds come Saturday, which way the horses are going in the betting. You're probably not going to get 6-1 or 8-1 on either horse, but if we can get a 5 or or if Rocket Can only comes down to 6-1, it's not bad.
I really like Rocket Can.
So that's kind of where we stand. I think we hope that the trip sits right where you get the 7 and the 2 out there on the top of the lead, pressing the pace. They're going to fall back. And it's going to give a chance for General Jim and Rocket Can to make their move coming around that second turn. And you hope that Forte is just sit for the ride, just sitting down, getting this, feet under him for 2023, and getting geared up for the bigger races. But if not, if he decides to want to win this race, if Irad can't hold him back, it may not be anything you can do there. So, because starting at 7-5, he'll be odds on. He'll be 4-5 or 3-5 come Saturday. Yeah. So anything you got left on the Fountain of Youth? What we need? What do they need to look for when they even watching these races?
Yeah, if you want to go back and see some of the calamity that is horse racing, go back and watch last year's Fountain of Youth race. Coming off the back turn, the final turn, there's just a huge.
A horse steps on the back foot of another horse.
Kerfuffle, and I thought it was. There's jockeys laid out in the middle of the back stretch. There's horses rolling over, and they're like, and the horses are okay, thank God.
Yeah. What about? And then finally here, it looks like the jockey is sitting up, so it looks like he's okay. You could tell in the caller's voice, and he's calling this race, and they're coming down the stretch, and it's a good race. The simplification is surging to the. I had simplification last year in that race, by the way.
I remember
when I saw it. I was like, oh yeah, I remember now. And I believe Sias has won the last 2. That's why I really are looking at General Jim here. Maybe Sias can go 3 for the last 3 in the Fountain of Youth. But anyway, yeah. So And then the guy sees the caller sees that horse step on the other horse's foot, and they go tumbling, and he's like, he reluctantly called the rest of the race. Oh man, it's tough to see that kind of spiel going on. But everybody was healthy, not just the horses. The jockeys were okay too.
Also, I don't know if anybody listening to this is actually gambles, but if you use the Action website, you can follow us on there, and so a lot of times I'll just add my picks in there and have them out there, and you can see them. Because we use Action a lot. It's just so much easier than having to go through your phone and trying to find ESPN scores and
Oh yeah,
whatnot.
absolutely.
So that's a pretty cool little app to use. It's a little unsettling sometimes. You see when you're on a snide. Like we've been 4-1, 5-1. If I did a 10-team parlay tonight, I'd go 9-1.
Oh, absolutely.
It has been incredible.
Sure.
It's been incredible the ride it's been. But
What
anyways,
was the one you put out yesterday? You had everything was nailed just perfectly, and then Alabama and Auburn decided to go to overtime, and
I don't know what I mean.
because you had the under nailed at
Yeah, Auburn. All Auburn had to do is make the shot. Just make the damn shot, man.
yeah, even with the shot there to win it, it wouldn't have hit the over.
They were missing free throws. They were doing everything that we want them to do to get the under. And betting unders is not fun. Trust me, I hate it, but it's part of betting because nobody likes to freaking do it. So, anyways, didn't get there. 3-1 on the night. Back to the drawing boards. We'll be back at it tonight.
That's right. All right, so I think I touched all the topics. We got the horse racing. I mentioned March Madness. Do you have anything that you wanted to add or tell anybody about that? We're coming up, just gonna do what we were talking about, or
Well, Matsuyama's even now, and then Hatton's 1 over. We'll be doing locally. We'll be doing trivia March the 8th.
yep, next Wednesday. That's right.
We'll do that. We're gonna try to get together on that March Madness thing, get it going. We're still talking about. I met a guy the other night. Said he likes listening to us, but he doesn't understand a lot of times what we're talking about. So we've got to do something where we kind of start from the especially. We're a bit this summer. I mean, we're gonna have all the time and all the shit.
Well, that's
we don't have
probably
to talk about.
That's probably where when we're going to do something like that. We'll have maybe a betting 101. Just talk about what it all means once we get through. Probably once we get through March Madness, because we won't get inching closer to the NBA playoffs. We won't quite be there, and baseball, boy, it'll be just starting, and that's, I mean, if you want to make a living betting on baseball, God help you. I don't know.
Hell no, not MLB. Now I do like I call them Nerfies. They're no run first inning.
Oh
bets.
yeah, those are cool.
They're fun and they're over early. You either did or you didn't.
In the first inning, yeah, it's over.
All you're betting is that but neither team will score in the first inning.
That's right.
And you usually get minus 180, 140, something like that. And it's fun to throw them in a little parlay or something that way. And I mean, I enjoy those bets. They're fun.
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
We also have UFC 285 coming up.
Yep.
I'm gonna put picks on Twitter. I don't know if we'll do another show.
That's Saturday night, right?
Yeah.
What time is it a night? Are they in the United States, or is this some kind of overseas early?
Las
Vegas.
Yeah, it's
I see
T-Mobile.
It's in Vegas.
9:00 start time, Saturday, March the 4th. Cyril Gahn versus the man John Jones.
I can't wait to see him back in the ring. I know there's a lot of.
Don't know what he's gonna be though.
I know. I like him. I just have always. I mean, I kind of like dominance. I guess. I mean, nobody can go out there and get the kid, so we'll see.
Yeah, Shevchenko, the ballerina girl, she's minus 730. There's not a lot there. I would take her probably to win by decision. And get better odds, bring it down. I don't know what that would.
Do not, don't just take her straight up. You're either going to have to add her. Even if you add her in a parlay, you're not going to help yourself much there. You got to find something. If you think she can end it early, I don't know how many submissions or knockouts she has, or and check out the over under on. And is that a championship bout?
Yeah, so she's got the.
So it'll be a 5 rounds.
Yeah, it should be 5 rounds.
So you could probably get over 3.5. Probably over 3.5 is probably a good bet on the rounds.
Yeah,
I don't hate that.
I like her too. The over or whatever gives you better odds. Her by decision or the over.
Yeah.
The one that I think I'm gonna go bet is the Shavkat. Shoot, I can't. Manov.
Rachmanov,
I
yeah,
saw.
whatever that.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm not a.
He's from Kazakhstan.
I've seen this guy. The guy's like a, and Jeff Niels is not no slouch, but I'm telling you, this dude is a walking, just a beast. I'm probably gonna take him to win inside the distance. He's either gonna knock him out or submit him. I think he's got. I think he. I don't. I think he's 12-0, and he's got 6 knockouts and 6 submissions. So he don't give a shit how he does it. He just just eat your night's ending early.
Yeah.
Bo Nichols fighting. I've heard the name, but I don't know. Of course, Cody Garbrandt's back. He's middle of the road.
Yeah, I don't know this Trevin Jones guy. I mean,
Yeah.
Garbrandt is the favorite there, but man, that's a close one. The one I really like is Dricus Duplessis. I don't know. I think they say Duplessis or something like that, but he's taking on Derek Brunson. But Dricus is a South African that can get it done. I mean, just the ones I've watched, he's been able to. He's been good to me, I guess, is what I'm getting at. So I'll probably add him in some kind of parlay there. I don't know anything about the 2 Brazilian girls getting after it in the prelims. The flyweight.
Good Lord.
It's getting long. It's getting late early.
Amanda Ribas pretty good. That's probably just right now. I mean, I'll probably tweet out something later. Just probably Saturday afternoon. But right now, I'd take Valentina
Shevchenko, yeah.
and then inside the distance. Or I just think I'm gonna go inside the distance. I think you can get her inside the distance probably about -3 something. And if that's the case, then you just throw her in a little parlay, maybe with
I like
the guy from Kazakhstan.
Yeah,
Kazakhstan.
I wouldn't hate taking Dricus, Duplessis, and the Rachmanov. Well, of course, he's -490. But then if you get Shevchenko, either win by decision or the over rounds, you might could get, and then you could add in, if you wanted to take a flyer. And John Jones is only -165, which tells you that they don't know exactly
No, I don't like
what's going
that.
on. Is those odds are low for him.
Cyril Gahn is, I think, probably
He's strong.
he's probably got 20 pounds on him too.
Yeah.
He's got. I mean, he's. Yeah, I don't know. You don't know mentally where John Jones is either, because he's been through a lot of crap in the last 5
What
years.
has it been? 2 years since he fought? 2, 3 years?
Yeah. That Bo Nichols kid, he's -1700. That ain't even worth looking at.
-1700.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, stay tuned on the Twitter that night. We'll probably put it out there when we decide. I think I hit a little 4-teamer in the UFC fight night last weekend.
Nice.
Had I think a couple of overs, and then a short favorite, like a -200 favorite that got there. So, and I don't know how, because it's not like I'm a UFC aficionado, but I just find the right ones I find the right numbers that make it look like I'm going to do on a good parlay, and then it just happens to hit.
Well, the beauty of it is it starts at 9 o'clock in the evening, and either you're up or you're down. But
Yeah.
you know, hey,
You know where you got to go. That's
Hey.
right. Am I up so I can be a little concerned? Just do some play money, or am I down? Do I need to get in here and find
get my
the
money back.
dogs? Yeah.
So ain't nothing worse than having to chase at 9 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning on Australian football.
Isn't that fun? How many times you done that, Paul?
Oh God!
But how many times you woken up and say, "Oh my God, look at there, money in the
It
bank."
goes both ways.
Goodness. I went to sleep one night on a 17 parlay. I think it was last year in the basketball, and I'd hit the first 6 games incredibly easy. And my last game didn't start till 10 o'clock, and it was a work night, and I'm just hanging in there, and it got to halftime, and I just couldn't do it anymore. My team that I'm on is up 25 at the half.
Yeah.
Well, you know what happens. They lose on the last second shot. And they blow a 25-point lead, and the other team hits a buzzer beater to kill my. I mean, it's a bad beat, man. Goodness.
Yeah, if you want to, I mean, go back through your action and look at how many 5-1s, 4-1s you've had. It's no fun club.
Mm-mm.
It is no fun club.
So yeah, so you've gotten our what we think about the horses and a little bit of UFC, and remember, on the golf, don't forget you can bet that all week. You don't have to just get in before they tee off on Thursday. So you can look tomorrow morning before they tee off and see what the lines are. You can look Friday, Saturday morning, and you can look Sunday morning before the final round. And you're always going to get plus money. It's just how much are you looking to get? I mean, because how many times? I think the last time I saw minus money was back when Tiger was winning every turn back in the early 2000s. He's the only guy that's ever been a super short favorite in golf. So
Yeah, my last 8 parlays I put out, or I didn't put on Twitter, but I've got here in my action. They all went one loss. I won 2, and then I lost the other one by 2 games. But 5 of 8 lost by 1 damn game.
oh,
Talking about 4, 5, 6
that
teamers.
is brutal.
It's just stupid. It's just stupid.
What was the one? I remember the one I sent you the other night. I had a 10-teamer just for fun,
Yeah.
and I lost. I went 9-1, and the one loss I had. I don't know if y'all were watching it. Wake Forest and Boston College. Wake Forest makes a valiant comeback. They're down 3. They tie. They make a bucket and get fouled, and the kid makes the free throw, ties the game at 69 with 7 seconds to play. Boston College comes down. They get inside the free throw line. The guy gets stopped, but the defender flies by him,
Yeah.
and the guy has not picked up his pivot foot yet. And he takes one step forward and just does an easy little lay-in with 1 second to go. Boston College 71, Wake 69, and I lose a 10-teamer because of that.
All right. Tyrell Hatton is even. Matsuyama's even. Now,
Look at them coming back, baby.
well, they're teeing off. They teed off this afternoon today. They'll be early in the morning. They'll beat the wind. Tomorrow afternoon, the wind's going to get up, and Saturday afternoon. So these guys that went off early this morning and shot 500 and 400, they're going to have to fight it tomorrow.
Look at Paul. Look at you. Your guys coming back.
Yeah, no, I know what I'm doing.
So proud.
It's like
I'm
a
so
damn.
proud.
You just got to be at the scene of the crash when you just got to be there. Just hang around.
All right,
Just hang in
I
there.
got you.
Ride with me.
And if anybody out there thought, where is our XFL talk? I can't. I don't mind watching it,
What?
but the betting part, man, I can't. I like some of their rules. Have you seen any of the games? It's pretty neat. I kind of like the one,
I like to kick off.
2 and 3 point conversions after touchdowns. It's pretty neat.
That's cool.
Yeah, so they got some quirky stuff that I like.
No, I'm not saying I won't bet it. I'm just saying that that's not on my first ticket I'm putting out of the day.
No, it's not. It's not on the first ticket. That's for
It's
sure.
not my first ballot of games I'm looking
Goodness.
at. So I
Oh
don't know,
man, yeah. Well, look, we're just glad to be back. We're gonna start doing a bunch of different things. Like Paul said, we're gonna have a bunch of downtime, and we've got a bunch of. Of course, this is the. Clarksdale makes its money on blues around here, and so we've got a bunch of little. I can't. What's the word I'm looking for here, Paul? Juke joints. Goodness gracious, we got a bunch of joints around Clarksdale
Been joking.
and bartenders that we know and like, and so we might start doing some stuff where we video some bartenders making some of their specialty drinks and putting it out there, and
Yeah,
we may have to, Paul, we may have to get you back on the camera to redo the Omaha now that college baseball is back and going, baby.
Had one of them the other morning.
Yeah, you did.
Brought out my samurai sword.
Not sure what was going on there, but I'm happy for you and your sword. Oh man!
That is a real samurai sword. It's not an innuendo.
And if anybody wants to make a donation to Poolside Bets and Cash and Tickets, I need to get a. I'm just kidding. Don't make. Maybe.
What do we need? We need a camera.
No, one day I hope if I hit one of these big tickets one time, I can go get a camera and one of those arms that connect it to my golf cart that's good on vibration. And I'm gonna start doing some videos of me in some of the golf tournaments with some of my buddies.
That'll be good for the prosecution.
Well, look, I'm just gonna tell the guys you got to tone it down, or I'll just cut that part of the video that doesn't sound great. We'll cut that part out. So we'll maybe get a little live golf action, and some of the stuff that I send will be like we'll do little games.
Be 4 hours of whack fuck.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of that going on for sure. So just trying to get extra stuff out there, and then we'll piece that together and put it out just for some laughter. Like I was telling Paul, I watched one on YouTube that these 3 guys their challenge that day was they were playing a 3-man scramble, just between them. They weren't in a tournament or anything. So they were doing a 3-man scramble for 9 holes, and they had to shoot 5 under, and they had to eat 50 tacos.
Oh Lord.
And they got the hard shell, which maybe that was maybe they part of the thing was they had to get hard shell. But one idiot, instead of just getting meat and cheese, got supreme, and he had to eat 15 supreme tacos. Like this stuff, man. He added all the extra stuff. And so it was pretty neat, watching them do that. And I don't know what their punishment was if they didn't get it. I don't remember.
They probably put that driver away after about the third hole.
About the sixth hole, when I saw several of them go, I don't think I could watch anymore.
Good Lord.
So during some of my tournaments, I'm gonna come up with some fun games to play with my buddies. Just in between, with us, and maybe we'll get it on film, and can take my little flip phone here, which I just thought about this, Paul, since I got the flip. I can set this joker up on the green and get some live action putts going on. Just hopefully one goes in at some point. I'll have all the video of all the putts missing.
Yeah, you can see where it went wrong.
Well, you get the commentary from that though. All the anger from the missing. So anyway, we're gonna start trying to do a bunch of stuff. Just something else you can watch and laugh to, and we'll, of course we'll throw in our betting stuff. So outside of the horses, the golf, and the UFC,
No XFL, no college baseball, man. If you can find a line on some of those games, it's fun to bet those. A lot of overs early. A lot of overs.
Yeah,
pitching struggling across the nation right now. Except for one dude at Maryland that's absolutely incredible.
apparently,
So I'm just kidding. Babe Ruth wouldn't touch it.
we'll see him tomorrow night.
Ah, crap.
We'll see him tomorrow night. What was I going to mention? Oh, so maybe we're going to shoot a show before we do trivia next Wednesday. We'll be at Stone Pony, and we're going to do a show. So I think, Paul, we should touch on the big conference championships that are going on, because they'll have started that Wednesday.
All right.
And we'll talk about maybe who we think's going to win, who we think's going to punch their ticket to.
We haven't heard from our NASCAR guy this year either. They're 3 races in. Might reach out to him, see if he's got anything for us.
Yeah, I think we probably dropped the ball there. We quit. We didn't. I don't know. It just we didn't stay in touch.
I like to do DraftKings NASCAR lineups on Sunday afternoons.
Yeah, that's fun. That's cool.
My mom does it, and it's fun.
Yeah, that's something easy for people to get into, is the old DraftKings stuff. It's a lot of fun. Putting is it 6? Do you do it like everything else? Is it 6? You do 6 racers, like you do with 6 golfers and that kind of thing. Yeah, I used to do the DraftKings golf a lot. I like it. I don't know why I haven't continued to do that, but yeah, that's a lot of fun. All right, so that's it. I don't know what do you got? Anything?
Not that I can say on
That's
air.
dynamite dropping. So good luck to all you that bet in the college basketball. That your lower tournaments are getting going, so they can punch those automatic tickets to the tournament. So that's a lot of fun to watch and see which teams get in. And I really look forward to Poolside Bets building their bracket that we're going to put out there, because I can't wait for that argument to get here. So, but next week we'll see you at Stone. Hopefully, if you watch and you're local, come check us out at Stone Pony. Come do the trivia. Come hang out. We'll have a good time, right, Paul?
Yep, John Rhimes just took the lead. He's plus 175 live. He will not win this tournament.
You don't think?
I'm telling you, tomorrow he's gonna shat the bed.
The man can play golf. All right, so we're done. That's cashing tickets. Good luck to everybody with your tickets. We hope you're all cashing in the morning.
Yep.
So for Poolside Bets, I'm Franklin. That's Paul. We will see you next week. Thanks for joining.
Bye.